What it do, y'all? We are here for episode 5 of Baddies Gone Wild. If you are new here, hit subscribe. Do it right now. It's free of charge. Hit it right now. Go straight and take that finger to that like button. Do it right now. Also, get in the comments. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. This, I can tell you now, is episode 5. I can literally claim a favorite because I only have one. Because there's only been one that's been consistent from episode 1 to 5, and it is who? Bahati. She's the only person that has not pissed me off this season. The only person. The only person. And she's easily the fan favorite. I see her winning this. She has not made a step wrong yet in this house on this season, and I don't think she is. I think she's the only one that will not do it. But I'm not gonna waste too much time. Let's go ahead and get this. All right, so we come back from where we left off, which was Oxy versus Gloss Up on the bus. Not Glossy. Oxy was bopping Gloss Up in her head. Gloss Up couldn't do nothing, couldn't handle nothing. But she ends up stating that she feels like Oxy wanted camera time, so she gonna give it to her. You are the one who's been fishing for camera time. Oxy's helping you out. She's giving you a reason to be on camera. Because if it wasn't for her, you'd be jumping into other people's shit trying to get camera time. So it's just rich coming from you. But Oxy ends up stating that she felt like Gloss Up was trying to punk her, so she fought her back. As you should. Don't ever let nobody punk you. But over on the other bus, we still got Coco and Jaidyn, but they still trying to go back and forth. And Ant told him to cut that shit out. Ant is funny. He's probably the only security guard that I can take scenes from because he is naturally funny. Like he's got natural comedic timing, and not only that, you can tell he's not forcing anything. Like it just feels natural. But Jaidyn ends up saying, "So all y'all trying to gang up on me?" And they're all trying to act oblivious to the fact that that's exactly what they're doing. But Jaidyn ends up stating that Coco tries to insert herself into other people's shit, like how she opened up that door. Me, y'all already know how I feel about it, and I still feel the same way to this day, a week later. I know a lot of y'all don't agree, but I agree. Me personally, I'd open up that door too, because I'm not going to sit here when I'm trying to sleep in my room and they kick in the door. Regardless of what the reason is, the door's getting open so I can sleep. But Rella ends up stating that Coco said that she fucks with Jaidyn and Shay as well as fucking with the rest of the girls, basically trying to state like you came at Coco for no reason when she fucked with you. But Jaidyn ends up stating I couldn't tell by the way she was acting. But Erica also then says too, Coco did not do shit to you, which is true. But Coco is still a weirdo, but we're gonna get to her in a minute. But Coco ends up stating like, why are you trying to get into it with me when you're on the sprinter with two bitches who touched your shit? That is also valid. She might not be likable, but when she's saying something that's true, it's true. Like you on the bus with two girls, Daisy, I think who was it? I forget who the girls were, but I remember there was at least two girls that were in there that were on the bus. I'm like, you should have fought them. But Coco ends up stating that she overheard Jaidyn talking to Bahati when Jaidyn had thought that Coco was asleep, stating that Coco was trying to switch the narrative to Daisy and then told her something completely different. Jaden's denying it. Coco ends up stating that Bahati even confirmed it. But they start going back and forth. Coco tries to swing. Ant blocks it again. He said, y'all not doing this. Sit your ass down. But back on the other bus, Emery is in her confessional stating that the bed situation had nothing to do with Oxy, so she don't understand why she's bothered by it. And I'm like, she's sleeping in the bed, Emery. Why would, like, what do you mean? That does have something to do with her because that's her bed. She's laying in that bed every night. But they end up getting to the excursion to go ahead and try to get into the zoo to go see the animals. They weren't successful. We'll get to that in a minute. But they're pretty much getting off the sprinters to get onto the Jeeps. You got Natalie, who does not need to be on camera. She didn't have to do any of what she did on camera. She only did it because we all know Natalie wants to have a mama. We'll get to her in a minute. But she ends up saying that she feels like it's time for the girls to get out and do some adventurous activities. And the buses, they get on their separate Jeeps. So the buses that were on the buses that they had, the two buses, the amount of girls that were on each bus stayed on the different Jeeps. They were in the same groups on a different Jeep. That's what I was trying to say. But somebody ends up stating on Coco and Jaden's group, stating that it smells like pee. And Coco ends up stating that somebody had peed on themselves. And no, somebody said it. I think it was Daisy said that somebody peed on themselves. So that's why they're saying it smelled like pee. And Coco points at Jaidyn, and it was like that bitch. Jaidyn, to my surprise, hops up and tries to swing on her. She wasn't successful because the minute she got up, Coco took that leg and knocked her ass back, kicked her shit right back. Coco started punching and missing, but she started punching her in the head. So she got maybe a couple in there. Regardless, It was failed. But Ant and crew, they come on to break it up. TeeTee is now talking about how she's next up and let her know if she needs to heal up first. I said, it's episode 5. I can completely and officially say I do not like her. I don't like her. You're weird. Like, you always looking for a reason to fight everybody but Daisy. You're fighting everybody that you know you can beat. You're not fighting the person, again, that beat you behind a bed. But you're fighting everybody else behind a bed that's not your... Right. But TeeTee ends up stating that Jaidyn was kicking, and this is why she's claiming that she wants to fight her. She said that she was kicking her, said that Jaidyn was kicking her trying to kick Coco, but they showed the replay, and the replay showed no leg connecting to TeeTee. TeeTee just won a moment. But she's trying to sneak Jaidyn, and she fails miserably, but Jaidyn is now screaming. You know how she screams. She screams when security's trying to pull her off the Jeep. But TeeTee's calling her a scary-ass bitch, and she don't be on shit. She is. But that's all the reason as to why you're like, it's like, why are you still sitting here trying to fight her? Like, you have no beef with her to begin with. And if you feel that way, then why are you trying to, you look like a bully. Like, that's literally what it is. But Jaidyn is sitting there telling her to shut up and whatever. But Jaidyn also then says, this is the one moment that Jaidyn, she did something. She did something. But she ends up stating that TeeTee is also known as the praying mantis. And she's an insect looking ass bitch. It's true. She does look like an insect. Like, she look like an ant. Well, I don't want to say like an ant. I think a praying mantis is probably pretty accurate. The ant, I was going to say an ant, but no, she looked like a praying mantis. But Coco, she ends up stating that to put Jaidyn's punk ass, dumb ass on another bus. Emery can hear it and says, no, don't put her on my bus because she lies too much. And then she ends up stating that she's delusional because she knows her from Texas. I said, so you saying that she lies too much, which, I mean, it sounds like she does. But it also sounds like you do too, because didn't you say on episode 1 that you didn't even know her and that she didn't know you? But then she says that, but then she also then turns around and says that she be feeling bad for Jaidyn because she be lying for no reason. And then they ask her if they were friends, and she says we were never friends. We only were around each other one time. So that means you don't know her. So it's like, Emery, what are you talking about? But Ming, she ends up arriving, getting on the Jeep. Oxy is not fucking with her. And she ends up stating that they had gotten into that argument the night before, and she was mad as fuck when they were in that argument. But Gloss Up, she then tells her that Ming, Gloss Up tells Ming Lee that her and Oxy got 2 rounds on the bus. Like, you can tell she was so proud to say, she is always, every time she fights, she got to let somebody know that she fought. We don't care. And it's clear that you're literally doing this for a moment because she's sitting next to Oxy and they're both sitting there laughing. I don't know about y'all. People that I fight, we're not friends. We're not friends. We're not cordial. We can't be nowhere near around each other because if you were around each other, I'm probably going to want to hit you again. That's how you know this shit is fake. But Oxy, she's sitting there laughing too, like I said, which is weird. But Ming Lee ends up asking why they got into it. And Gloss Up ends up stating that she felt like Oxy having her feeling some type of way about them beds. Like, she basically said, like, what was you going to do about it? Pretty much trying to punk her for it. But Ming Lee ends up stating in her confessionals that after the cameras had cut, Oxy was asking her for her bed, and Ming Lee pretty much told her she needs to fight for her bed, but she claims she was joking about it. But why would you joke about that, considering what y'all was doing? And apparently Oxy was trying to fight her for it. I mean, shit, you told me to fight for it, and you're not going to give me my bed, I'm going to hit you. Like, that's what it is. But Oxy ends up telling Ming Lee that she wanted that, talking about, Ming Lee, you told me that you wanted that, so we here. Ming Lee tries to deny and said, I didn't, but she said, I wanted it at the time, but I don't want it now. Basically, that's what she's stating. I'm like, but you said you wanted that, so stand on it. That's just what it is. Don't punk out now because she's standing in your face and you don't have liquor to back you up. She's sober now. Them sober thoughts, she don't want it. She only wants it when she's liquored up. Got that liquid courage. But Oxy ends up saying, so you're trying to do it right now? And Ming Lee ends up saying that Oxy ain't got no storyline and she ain't getting one off of her because she's already boring. I said, you're not entertaining. You're forcing storylines. That shit's not entertaining. And you're forcing moments. That's what that is. But Oxy ends up stating that you be talking shit and nobody has beef with you, nor does anybody give a fuck about you because nobody even knew you existed. I said, exactly. Slid her ass with that one. Because where's the lie? But Oxy then says too, like, last night you were saying that you needed it, so you don't today. Ming Lee ends up saying, you're not my energy. I'm not giving you no energy. Oxy says, okay, fine. Shut up and stop talking to me. Simple. But Ming Lee ends up stating, well, you're going to get kicked out anyway. So Oxy then takes that drink and hit her ass good. Hit her in the head. Because Emery ended up confirming it too. But Ming Lee ends up doing that. She ends up getting up to throw a water bottle back now that she got security in front of her. Ming Lee only does shit when she got security. But she doing that. Oxy ends up saying, come on, so you wanted it, let's get it now. You throwing shit at me now, let's go. So Ming Lee, feeling tough behind security, like I just said, she's screaming that I'm your storyline, I'm your storyline. Oxy says, you use your sister as a storyline because you a weak ass bitch. Where's the lie again? Like, where is it? But Janelys, clocking Ming, is stating that she don't really want it like that with Oxy, because it's clear she don't, because she's sitting here trying to act hard behind security. Like, you was trying so hard to get Shay, but when it's Oxy, you don't want it. She wanted it so bad with Shay behind a rumor, but now that you actually have a real beef now, a real beef that actually included you, something that you actually started, and it's actually something that is existing, that you know of, instead of hearsay, you don't want it now. Yeah, that's what that is. But Oxy and Ming Lee, they start going back and forth. Ming Lee's too busy trying to throw objects instead of getting down there and throwing them hands. Oxy was on the ground ready to go, waiting on her. Bahati clocked it and said that Ming Lee ain't about that life because she needs to go on Love Island because she on the wrong show. Speaking of Love Island, if you're not watching Love Island, you need to be. And you need to be watching my recaps because we going up. We having a ball. First week. We're going to be back later on the night too. That's why I'm rushing to get this done. But Ming Lee, she now gets off the bus and she's now on the ground, but she's hiding behind security. They got a smorgasbord of security just blocking her. Oxy's sitting around there squaring it up, posting up. And Ming Lee is only acting tough behind security, trying to run around security. But whenever y'all was face to face, you ain't want to do none of that. Didn't want to do none of that. But Oxy ends up punching the shit out of her ass. Did she do that? I can't even remember it now. I wrote it down. Maybe she did. But Oxy said no bitch is going to sit in her face and said that they need that. And I'm not going to give it to them. Like I said, me personally, if I don't want to fight, if you press me to fight, I'm going to fight. Because you're not going to punk me. Whether it's on TV or off TV, you're not going to punk me. But back on the other bus, Jaidyn ends up trying to sneak TeeTee back as she should. But security tries to stop her. But back on the other bus, Oxy's back on the bus, as is Ming. And Ming Lee is mute as fuck. Mute. But Daisy and Erica, they're sitting there talking about Ming Lee and Oxy, and pretty much stated, like Oxy was stating before when we tried to call her boring or whatever, that she said she wasn't doing nothing because nobody was trying her, but now Ming Lee is trying her, and now she's doing something about it. But Coco and Jaidyn, they start going back and forth again. I no longer care. I didn't write anything down because I don't care. But some shit was happening off the bus, which they tried to make it seem like it was something wrong with the bus, but they was literally trying to go into the zoo. And because they was acting so ghetto and ratchet, fighting and shit, they can't go in the zoo, rightfully so. Like, have some couth. What is wrong with y'all? Like, fighting like that in public, especially in another country, like, what? So the Jeep start backing up, and they can't go in. But Natalie, we get a scene of Natalie running her fat ass mouth, saying nobody's getting their phones because of her, talking about Janelys. And it says, y'all got me fucked up. Like, how professional are you, EP? But Natalie ends up stating that Jaidyn was recording her videos of her when they're not supposed to be recording behind the scenes for the show. You're not on the show. So she's recording you. Who cares? You're not on the show. It's not like she was. I don't know if it was true or not because I don't even remember. I mean, I remember seeing maybe a clip or two of them out. It looked like they was at some museum or whatever. But that's not giving away the show. And it's like, granted, you shouldn't be like with them. They stated that they're not supposed to have access to their phones. But if she's not literally showing the cast for real, or at least recording them in dissension or like having beef or whatever, I don't see the issue. But not only that, like I said, Natalie, you're not on the show. So Natalie's claiming that she's recording her. You're not on the show, so it doesn't matter. But of course, you're trying to have a moment on this show. Like, that's the crazy part. But Natalie ends up stating that Janelys was recording videos of her, and they're not supposed to be recording behind the scenes. Janelys ends up telling the girls on her bus that she was recording herself. She wasn't recording Natalie. But Natalie is over there talking shit. Janelys ends up stating, like, this is going to get annoying to me because essentially if I'm the one that's in the wrong for doing this, I don't want to essentially. Basically what she's stating is, if my issue is going to affect all of y'all, I'll just go home. That's basically what she's saying. And Janelys says that, and she says, I'll take the consequences because it is what it is. But Oxy ends up stating that she feels like it's a big deal because they feel like it was because of what she was recording, which Natalie didn't explain anything else besides the fact that she was recording her. You're not on the show, like I said. But Natalie is over there yelling, as she always does. Janelys is like, what are you talking about? Natalie's like, you know what I'm talking about, which, I mean, it seems like she does. But Janelys is saying that she don't know. But they ended up getting off the Jeeps. They're now at this little playground area where it's just a bunch of grass and stuff. We already knew they was about to start fighting. But Natalie gets on the table, hollering and screaming. Talking about, y'all not getting y'all's phones back because somebody was recording this because of her. I said, oh, you just trying to get them to jump on her. That's what you doing. You trying to instigate fights. Just clown shit. Like, get your ass behind the camera. Nobody cares. But Janelys ends up stating that when she was, like, when was I recording you? And she ends up saying, like, anytime I was taking the videos when we was all together. Like what I just said, that's the only time that I would see it being acceptable. But Natalie ends up stating, nobody's getting their phones back because of you. She keeps on stating that. And it's just like, you just waiting for somebody to pounce, which, of course, dumbasses start doing it. But we'll get to that in a minute. But Janelys says, if it's a problem, I'll go home. Like, simple. If it's a problem, I'll go home. Natalie says, well, her scary ass ain't going anywhere. She's staying here. Why? So you can get them to attack her and assault her like a fucking weirdo? Like, you're a weirdo. If it's that big of a deal, let her go home. Let her go home. But you want her to get beat up. Like, you're a weirdo, Natalie. She's weird. But Janelys is like, who is scared? And Natalie said, you bitch. I said, you're 40 years old yelling at a 21-year-old, trying to beef with a 21-year-old behind her, quote unquote, which we didn't see because they didn't put any footage of what she recorded, recording you. That's why you want to scream and holler at her. That girl ain't done nothing to you. You're 40 years old on a show trying to have a moment off a 21-year-old who is almost 20 years younger than you. That's ridiculous. But Daisy, she now wants to fight, weirdo, because she is a weirdo, because she said, I can't get my phone. Whatever. Just say that she's just trying to have a moment. So she ends up trying to swing on Jaidyn, and she didn't, not Jaidyn, Janelys, and she didn't beat her ass the way she should have, because Janelys can't fight. But Janelys put up a decent battle for me. She put up a decent fight for me. She ain't win, but she damn sure didn't get beat up like she should have. But you hear TeeTee in the background talking about something, let them fight. Because Daisy's sitting there trying to grab her hair. Rella's trying to clown Daisy for fighting behind the phone, but you later being a clown too. But Oxy ends up stating that she's now contemplating fighting Janelys because she needs to get in contact with her kid. I said, you need to be fighting Natalie. Oxy was starting to get weird now, which I hated because I was giving her all these props last week. But weirdo, she weird too. But Daisy, she then catches Janelys off guard for round 2. And again, Daisy didn't do much of nothing. Daisy's fights this episode, she did much of nothing. Like that heavy hitter shit that she had going on in the first couple episodes, it was not here in this episode. But Shay now wants to fight Janelys for the same reason. Weak. Like, go fight the bitches that put you out of your own room. Like, why are y'all fighting this girl? Because of a phone? Like, you're on a reality show. Most reality shows outside of these ghetto shows, they take your phone because they don't want any of the storylines being aired out on social media. That y'all just did. Y'all just proving that y'all would never be able to be on real cable television, real networks, because they take your phones. And they're going to look at this, oh, well, y'all fighting because you can't have access to your phone. So you're going to hit one of us, liability. And you're going to lose out on some real money. But they go ahead and do that. Janelys ends up saying that they're dick sucking and whatever and just wanted a reason to fight. And she's going to give it to them every single time. She's not lying. That's exactly why they're doing this. And I respect Janelys. She can't fight, but she will fight. But TeeTee, she's now trying to get Jaidyn. Talking about some, go get Jaidyn because I want her. And she ends up seeing her and says, oh, Jaidyn's PC'd up. Y'all going to tell me what PC'd up is. I don't know what the fuck that means. But says she was security talking all that shit because that's what she does. TeeTee tries to run up on her, gets stopped. Jaidyn says line it up fairly because she a punk. So they line it up essentially. But Jaidyn's stupid. And this is how you know she can't fight. But we'll get into that in a minute. But TeeTee goes up to her and she was getting her a little bit, not too much, but she was getting her a little bit. But TeeTee tells her to get up again and run it again. But Daisy ends up stating what I was about to just say, that she begged Jaidyn to take that hoodie off, and Jaidyn didn't take it off, and that's how you know she don't fight and can't fight, which is true. You never fight with a hoodie on. Like, do you know that's the easiest way? I wouldn't even hit you with a hoodie on. I would literally the first thing I would do is pull your head down. Then I would hit you. That's so easy. And then I could take you and swing you around if I wanted to. Never fight with a hoodie on. Never do that. But Rella, looking for a moment, now is asking Erica why she didn't come over there to, I guess, defend Janelys. And Erica says she's not doing it. Rella ends up saying, so you said this was your friend. Why are you not defending your friend? And Erica pretty much told her, like, leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. Rella then says, why are you hiding from the cameras now? Why are you putting on for the cameras now? Like, why are you doing that? That's the real question. So Erica then says too, I'm not hiding. And Rella ends up stating too, like, well, actually, Erica ends up stating, Rella's just trying to have a moment and a reason to get an issue off of me, which is exactly what it is. But Erica ends up telling her, you're just waiting for a moment. So Rella then says too, your friends just fought two people. Why didn't you take one of them faves for her? You're a fake ass friend, suck my dick. Her friend was fighting one-on-one. There's no need for her to do that. There's no need for her to do that. But Rella ends up asking Erica to fight. Rella asked Erica to fight. Pressed her and asked her to fight. Erica runs up. It's not her fault. She had a battery in her hand and was bopping you in your head with that shit. She was clocking her. And she hit her with that battery, rightfully so. Like, at this point, you pressing me so badly to fight. Okay, you're going to get me right here, right now. I'm not dropping nothing. I'm taking this, and I'm bopping you in your shit. So, as she doing that, Daisy and Glossup's weak ass is trying to have a moment, basically try to jump her. And I'm like, it's just funny how y'all literally begged her to fight. And now that she's fighting, now y'all want to jump her and try and break it up. Because she was about to do Rella in. But they talking about how that's corny and whatever. And they telling her to put her battery back down. Why she got to put her actual battery down when y'all up here putting batteries in people's backs to fight? It's not her fault she actually took the literal battery and started beating y'all with it. It's not her fault. Leave her the fuck alone like she said. But they telling her to take it out of her hand. Who the fuck are y'all? Who the fuck are y'all? Y'all want me to fight so bad, I'm going to fight the way I want to fight. That's what she's doing. But Rella is her dumb ass sitting there talking about something she didn't even see it. So that's not my fault that you didn't see it. You was too busy trying to fight her. You should have been looking at her hands. That's the leave her alone. But she now says she's charged up to want to fight again, and Rella's sitting there calling her weak. But Glossup tries to run up on her, and she was about to get rocked too, but she got lucky that security prevented it. But Erica pretty much states in her confessional she ain't drop her battery pack. She had it in her hand. She wasn't dropping it. I don't blame you. I wouldn't have either. But she says if somebody don't want to fight, you listen to them or it's up. And it's that simple. Because if she didn't want to fight, let her not fight. But if you press her to fight and she ends up fighting, if she has weapons, that's your own fault. Leave her alone. But Rella is telling her to suck her dick and she on here trying to get clout. Aren't y'all all? Like, that's why y'all are on the show. Weird. They just so stupid. But we get another scene with Jaidyn, Shay, Oxy, and Bahati. They're sitting down together. Shay is pretty much saying it's like the four of us against them other bitches. Not really, because Oxy is fighting with them bitches. Like, let's be for real. And you was too. Weird. But Oxy ends up stating that she heard the impact of the charger from Erica to Rella's head, which good for you, Erica. She says it was corny. I said, but it wasn't corny for Rella to be calling her out for no reason out of nowhere. That was corny. But Oxy ends up stating, now I have an issue because she's hitting hoes in the head with a charger. I'm like, you acting like she did that unprovoked. Like, now you looking like you trying to have issues for no reason, Oxy. Like, what does that have to do with you? But Oxy ends up talking about how it's hard to be loyal and have loyalty with these people when there's so many truths going out. And Bahati being the fan favorite voice of reason that she is, there's no loyalty. That's what she says. There's no loyalty. Y'all have only known each other a couple days. Hello? She's the sole MVP. If y'all not voting crazy for her, do it now. But Shay, she tells them that she wants the person that threw them peanuts on her. As we know, it has been confirmed. She has an allergy. She's allergic to peanuts. So now knowing that for sure now, them bitches are weird. Weird. Like, it's that deep that you want to end up possibly putting somebody's life in danger? Like, y'all are weird. But Bahati ends up asking who did it, and Shay ends up stating everybody said it was Gloss. So she lines it up for Gloss. And this right here was the best fight of the night. This was the best fight. The best fight. She lines it up. And she was beating Gloss's ass. Beat her ass to the point where Gloss fell forward, fell flat on her face on that dirt, and started grabbing her ankles. Gloss up been dying for fights. Been dying for fights. You want to fight everybody. And you wanted to fight Shay for real, but you tried to get her in that confessional room where she didn't have space. Now she had space and she gave you that work. You hit that ground. Daisy ended up saying to her confessionals, like, she ate that dirt. Now you got to get up and fight because that shit going to be a viral moment. And it probably is. It probably is. But they go again and Shay is doinking her all up in her shit. Gloss didn't even throw not one punch in that second round. She's sitting there trying to grab her hair because you can't fight. She just proved that to you. You can't fight because you done got your ass beat the whole episode. Oxy was beating you in that bus. She beat you here. Like, Gloss up, sit down somewhere. Trying so hard to fight. Like, trying so hard to get a moment. But she gets up and starts calling her pussy and whatever, and Shay's popping her shit as she should. But it's like, how's she pussy when she fought you twice? And not only that, she's fought every single person who wanted to fight her this season. And you know everybody has wanted to fight her. But the girls, they're now talking about what's going to happen next with Erica and Raven. Not Erica and Raven. Erica, Raven. Erica and Rella, because they sleep in the same room together. But Ming Lee is sitting there talking about how she uses weapons too. But then gonna sit there and question why Erica used the weapon for an advantage. Like, are you stupid? Like, I'm like, yeah, she really a short but shawty. Like, that's what she is. She's short. She's slow. But Emery, she strikes again, trying to put another battery in somebody else's back, aka Janelys's, trying to make it seem like Erica didn't have her back because Janelys was stating that she did. But Janelys now wants to talk to Erica. We'll see how that goes. But Coco, she then asked the group who all touched Jaidyn's shit besides Emery and TeeTee, because she ended up stating that she wants it with everybody that did, and she got a hit list. Emery's talking about something, I can't be on her hit list because I already fought her 3 times. Yes, you can. Why would that exclude you from doing it? If you fought her 3 times and beat her 3 times, why would she not want to keep fighting you? Because she wants to get a win, clearly, even though we know she's not going to and can't fight. Shit, if you beat my ass, I have to beat your ass at least 1 time before I'm done. But Emery says she's going to do it a 4th time, but this time she's going to make her apologize as she's doing it. We'll see. But TeeTee, she ends up stating that Jaidyn talks too much and she need to stand in the paint. If you got to line up and you got a hit list, you need to line that shit up. Shut up. But Bahati, she's sitting on the table. This is the last scene. She's sitting on the table outside, and Daisy comes up with Coco trying to confront her about this shit that Coco claimed that Bahati said about Daisy, stating that Coco was ducking face from her, which she was. But Bahati ends up denying it, saying that she didn't say that, which I believe Bahati. Like, Bahati is not giving me a reason to believe that she's a liar. She stands on everything that she says and stands on everything that she does. But Coco ends up saying that you said that Daisy took it as Coco ducking face. Bahati ends up stating that I said when Daisy was coming up to you saying, what's up, basically saying like, what's up, let's go. You was too busy trying to talk it out. Basically, that's what she was saying. Like, I took it as you literally ducking face because she was trying to fight you and you trying to talk. Which, I mean, to a degree, it looks that way. But Daisy ends up saying, don't say I did. She said, don't say I said anything. Pretty much talking to Bahati. Bahati says, I said that's what it looked like. I didn't say that's what you said. Bahati is standing firm on this. She did not change her story at all. But Daisy ends up stating, when it comes to me and you, don't say shit about me. Because Bahati said that Coco said that when her eye was healed, they could run it. So Bahati ends up stating, I never said that you said it. I said that's what it looks like. Daisy ends up asking Coco, did she say that? And Coco ends up stating it's the same thing. No, it's not. No, it's not. And Bahati said the same thing. It's not. You said that she said that. And Bahati said, I said that's what it looked like. It's not her fault that Daisy was in the situation that she's talking about. You took her words and twisted it. That's what it is, to get yourself out of fighting Daisy. Why are you not fighting Daisy? With your eye looking the way it does. 3-4 episodes in a row. It has not healed. But Coco ends up saying when it comes out on TV, you're going to get your ass beat at the reunion. Yet you're fighting behind somebody and defending somebody who beats your ass and fucked your eye up. The jokes write themselves, man. But Daisy says at the end of the day, I'm big dog. I'm big dogging shit around here. You don't have my protection anymore. She don't need it because Bahati gonna stand 10 toes regardless. But Daisy ends up stating that bitches are leaving and what I say around here goes. I say you really are the Rolly Jr. that they want you to be. Like, you really think you somebody. You really think you somebody. I say fix your teeth. That's what you need to do. But Bahati tried to fix them teeth later on, but we're going to get to it in a minute. But Bahati ends up stating to her confessionals, you're not big dog, you just big mama. I said, Bahati, she's taking it. She's the best one on the show. Easily the best one on the show. But Daisy, she's sitting up now in Bahati's face screaming. And Bahati is like, you know, you look weird as fuck right now. Like, do you realize how weird and stupid you look right now? She, like, what she's saying is true. She said, I ain't said nothing about you, and you sitting here acting a fool. And she probably feels stupid watching it now. But Daisy ends up saying, I don't give a fuck. You should. But Daisy is now screaming in her face, telling her to shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk anymore. Bahati said, then stop talking then. I said, exactly. But Bahati was better than me. The way she was screaming in her face, she'd have been and got hit. But Daisy puts her hands in her face, in Bahati's face, and Bahati tells her to get her hands out of her face. Bahati gets off the table now at this point because she got her hands in her face, and Daisy's sitting there acting like a child, pointing her finger in her face. And Bahati squatting it. Bahati better than me. The minute she did that, I would have broke that thing. I'd have broke that thing. I'd have snapped that shit in half, and she would have been on that ground. But one thing leads to another. One thing leads to another. Bahati says, I'm not trying to do this with you right now. But Daisy kept pressing her, and Bahati got to swinging. And she connected. I saw 2 connects. Daisy tries to swing. I ain't seen not one connect. Y'all tell me if I'm tripping. I ain't see her connect once. Bahati got that dub. And when security was pulling them away, Daisy's back was turned to her. And Bahati was kicking her in her ass. She literally kicked her ass. Literally. I was like, Bahati is the MVP. Are you crazy? Like, are you crazy? You should have beat her. And Bahati beat her. Beat her. It was an easy dub. Easy dub. Like, she connected on punches and she connected on kicks. Like, so Bahati won. So, the funny part, like I said, Bahati was trying to fix them teeth because security pulls them away. And Bahati said, look at you with your mouth bleeding. That mouth was leaking. I said, ooh, you played stupid games and you won a stupid prize. But Bahati said, we can go another round. So they go another round. Not much was happening because Bahati's head was down. If she kept her head up, who knows what could have been the outcome of that. But nothing really happened. But next week, we got Erica getting jumped. TeeTee, you weird. She was hitting her in the face with a damn brush, I think. They head to another house, and then we get Erica versus Oxy. Oxy, you're looking like a weirdo, too. But if you all have not already, hit the thumbs up button for me. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 10K. Get in them comments. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.